Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Have you heard the latest ridiculous statement that the anger and hurt of modernist nuns must be acknowledged? It would be a laughable thought if it hadn't come from the number 2 person heading up the investigation into the female religious orders that have gone completely round the bend. In an interview with the stupidly liberal newspaper National Catholic Reporter, known by the other name of the National Catholic Distorter, and also known simply as Fish Wrap, Archbishop Joseph Tobin, Secretary of the Vatican's Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life, said the current Vatican investigation of various groups of nuns has hurt their feelings deeply, and that must be acknowledged. Aw. He also said that he does not expect any punitive fallout from the visitation, and that before any decisions are made, women's communities should have a chance to know the results and to respond. Yep, couldn't agree more. That's exactly the right tone to take, and I think it's the tone that should be taken with terrorists as well. We need to feel their pain and acknowledge that they have legitimate reasons for flying planes into skyscrapers and blowing up people. And we shouldn't be thinking in terms of punishment, but in terms of dialogue. Once we have determined after an exhaustive investigation that crimes and misdeeds have been committed, we should then allow the guilty parties the opportunity to review our findings and offer their own input as to why we are wrong. What a load of garbage. Is there a Catholic in the world who still goes to Mass who doesn't realize the nuclear damage that has been done to the Church by modernist nuns? One hesitates to even use the term nun or sister. And we are supposed to feel their pain? Are you serious? Really? What about the pain of millions of Catholics who had to stand by while the good sisters dismantled hundreds of years of work by their foundresses and those who went before them? What about those who had to watch these so-called religious communities pursue lives of open rebellion to the Church by advancing socialist Marxist political agendas, embracing lesbianism, instituting yoga classes along with Mother Earth prayer tutorials, conducting retreats on sorcery and witchcraft, using the local parish hall for classes on Tai Chi and Feng Shui, sponsoring conferences promoting New Age trash? And those are just the good points. What about the shipwreck of the faith they made for the millions of souls who were entrusted to them by teaching them that abortion is acceptable, birth control is perfectly fine if you want it to be, that women should be priests, that we are church? Is there a dogma left standing in the Church that has not been cut down by these priest-wannabe, radicalized, feminist, lesbian-loving, feminism, run-amok, New Age-worshipping, goddess-adoring heretics who seem more angry about not being men than anything else? We have to understand their anger. What about the thousands and thousands of nuns who had to leave their orders and their vocations because they were driven out by the broomstick and cauldron crowd? What about all the thousands and thousands of young women who, feeling a sincere call to the religious life, ran full steam into the angry lesbian feminism that rules the roost at so many convents today? Archbishop Tobin is right. There is a lot of anger out there about the nuns, but he has sorely misplaced the source of that anger. In one part of the interview, he says that female religious helped build the school system and advance the faith for millions of school children. He's right. Those nuns did do that, and the good holy nuns who have remained faithful to those values have been persecuted mercilessly. These nuns have set about destroying the work of the good nuns who preceded them. Why does he think there's an investigation being conducted at all? Heck, a whole lot of other investigations need to be conducted into the Church as well, into Catholic universities, male religious orders, the unfaithfulness and political scheming that goes on in chanceries daily. The list is endless. The only thing wrong with the investigation into these whacked-out, off-the-rails women irreligious groups is that it didn't happen 30 years earlier. And it's a little disheartening to hear that even before the investigation is over, Archbishop Tobin has somehow already concluded that no punitive measures will be exercised. How does he know that? Well, then pray tell, what is the point of the investigation? to sit in the convent parlor, talk about witchcraft and lesbian feminism over a nice cup of tea with the good sisters, and then toddle off back to Rome and construct a worksheet for dialogue where the first talking point will be to acknowledge their hurt feelings? Thank God, literally thank God, these orders are disappearing into oblivion and being replaced by rapidly growing faithful orders of nuns who actually wear habits and actually love our blessed Lord and teach the authentic faith. But we can't go there because that makes the feminazi nuns crazy and angry, and God knows we don't want to spend any more time having to acknowledge their deep hurt and anger. Say a prayer for the members of these religious orders that have gone completely off the rails. Most of them are getting along in years, well along. And while in New Age theology, death doesn't really mean anything except being released into the fullness of your feng shui-ness and whirling around Mother Earth gardens for eternity, we know who will be standing there waiting for them. It's a pretty good idea to pause after this vortex and say a Hail Mary for all these people. God bless you. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.